communication of grace which is going to sanctify both and preparing a sacred place where precisely the new children of God will come to birth, come to existence, and will be educated, will be formed for eternity. This is the Catholic perspective. And with this you understand immediately that God has something to say about marriage. And God wanted to give to this act of procreation the greatest pleasure on the level of the body which, let's say, human beings can find. It's so important, so necessary for the continuation of the humanity that God wanted to give to this act really the greatest pleasure you can find on earth. And with the original sin, of course, you have a terrible concupiscence which has gone through it, with, unfortunately, becomes the greatest source of sins. It's even the Blessed Virgin Mary who said that. Let's say that the hurting of the virtue of chastity, the impurity, is the greatest cause of why so many people fall into hell. The lack of control because of the original sin. But let's say on the side of God, it's something similar but much, much greater than the pleasure that God has given us when we eat. To live, to survive, we need to eat. And God was good enough to make it sweet. Imagine that every meal would be something unbearable. No, God made it nice. It's like that. It's really God who did it. God wanted us to eat, and He made it easy. God wanted men and women in the marriage to procreate, and He made it beautiful. But precisely, this is reserved to marriage. And the big temptation from ever is to try to get to that pleasure without marriage and without all the consequences of the act of marriage. That's why, let's say, the Church has to say